All right. So on Wednesday, Hillary Clinton gave a speech at the Women in the World conference in, I think, New York City. And she made some rather controversial statements. So this is from thedailybeast.com. Hillary Clinton, being capitalist probably hurt in primary because many Democrats are socialists. Hillary Clinton claimed Wednesday that declaring herself to be a capitalist during the 2016 presidential primaries may have hurt her with Democratic voters. Quote, probably, she said when asked by Time Incorporated Brands CCO Alan Murray if the declaration hurt her. The pair appeared in the convention as part of the Shared Value Leadership Summit in New York City. Quote, it's hard to know, but I mean, if you're in the Iowa caucuses and 41% of Democrats are socialists or self-described socialists, I'm asked, are you a capitalist? I say yes, but with appropriate regulation and appropriate accountability. You know, that probably gets lost in the, oh my gosh, she's a capitalist, Clinton concluded, partly referring to the popularity of her primary rival, Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont, who ran as a self-declared Democratic Socialist. So, oh boy, do I have a lot to say about this. Hillary Clinton is not hated by anybody for being a capitalist. Far from it. In fact, Bernie Sanders is not a socialist, he's a democratic socialist. And even in a socialist system, capitalism still exists. So we're talking about improving government programs, adding 4 more years on to public education, so free college, a lot of things like that are socialist programs because they're social programs, but by no stretch of the imagination is anybody that I've heard blaming Hillary Clinton for being a socialist. That's not it at all. A capitalist. She's a crony capitalist. She's the best example I can come to think of at the moment of a crony capitalist who has used her position in government to foster relationships and build pay-for-play corruption, whether it be for giving somebody a position in power or an arms deal to the Saudis. She's done it all, and she has used her connections in some pretty nefarious ways. For another example, we know the Clinton Foundation. They were tasked with humanitarian aid in in a crisis in Haiti after an earthquake hit there. Well, they spent millions and millions of dollars and built like one house. Where did that money go? Who that money went to? Before Bill Clinton's birthday, the Saudi royal prince gave like $1 million donation to the Clinton Foundation. So, I mean, a lot of shady shit with the Clinton Foundation alone that fosters pay-to-play and cronyism. Her speeches with Goldman Sachs while she's running for the fucking presidency or primary, so for the presidency at least. I mean, we know that she's making these behind-the-door speeches to Goldman Sachs and other Wall Street bankers and executives that pay her like extravagant speaking fees up to $200,000. And in some of these speeches, we have excerpts from a few of them where we've caught her saying things like, you need a public and a private position on an issue. A public and private position on an issue, what does that mean? Well, that means that, yeah, you say one thing and then you do another thing. So you do another thing for the people who put you in office, your donors, your special interests, your buddies on Wall Street, the people that you owe your service to after that, you know, they've given you their money. And you don't represent the people. And that's exactly what Bernie Sanders harped on his entire election. Like, that's why people were so inspired by Bernie Sanders. It wasn't because he was a socialist. You know, a lot of people, even Republicans, came to Bernie Sanders' side because they agreed with his overall message that the average worker is being screwed and people aren't seeing the kind of job growth in their communities because outsourcing and trade deals like the TPP have made manufacturing jobs almost disappear in just about 20 years, ever since the TPP was signed, or NAFTA. Both of those decimated manufacturing jobs in America. And she's somebody who claimed to be against the TPP, even though she privately and publicly lobbied for it 45 times before Bernie Sanders pushed her to the left and made her switch her position on it. And, I mean, there was even a time during her campaign, I don't know if you remember this, but she used like some kind of sound diffusing cannons or electrical devices against reporters when she was giving a speech to her special interest buddies, and nobody could hear what they were saying because she's basically blasting some sort of like white noise at them to mix up the signal so that nobody can record what she is saying. I mean, what the fuck? And people didn't vote for you because you're a capitalist. No. Hillary Clinton is the definition, the literal textbook definition of a crony capitalist. I mean, she's done nothing to prove to us that she's willing to sever ties with these people. Excuse me. And I mentioned a few things here. I could go on for days. I mean, I didn't even bring up the Podesta group or all of the other secretive things that she does behind the scenes. Let's see. She sat on the board of directors for Walmart. Pretty sure that the average American voter goes to Walmart, but also views Walmart as, yes, the place that destroyed their local communities' businesses and forced a lot of people out and into early retirement or to go work at the fucking Walmart. So, I mean, nobody can, no matter how hard you try, Hillary Clinton, to clean up your past. You were a Goldwater girl for Barry Goldwater. You're on the Walmart board of directors. You were doing, pay for play corruption all throughout your time as a public servant, Secretary of State. You were doing weapons deals with places like Saudi Arabia and the UK and France, who assist Saudi Arabia and the US and Israel, especially Israel, overseas. So, yeah. Let's just remember that next time, and let's hope that Hillary Clinton does not crawl out of whatever log she's been hiding under, because I'm tired of talking about her. But when she says dumb shit like this, I feel like I have to respond.